In a management buyout in 1988, assets of the original Koppers company were organized into a new company, the organization we're all part of today. This new entity retained the name of the original founder, Heinrich Koppers, an individual with the courage and energy to pursue a breakthrough idea to convert industrial waste into usable products. This video will show 3 examples of how Koppers people, individuals with the courage and energy to bring breakthrough ideas to life, have worked over the past few months and years to create a positive, tangible difference by applying our zero-harm culture to improve their environment, care for their neighbors, and improve their performance. So let's look at some examples of how Koppers have achieved this. A zero-harm culture at Koppers' Grafton facility in Australia led to ideas and initiative from various individuals combining to address a problematic situation.
So there were 2 main issues that we had. The first was we had high metals in our stormwater discharge in the southwest section of our plant. That's discharge point SW1. We also had a lot of erosion of roadways in that area of the plant, so we knew we had to do something a little bit long-term to remedy the problem that we had.
One of the biggest drivers in it was that above our southwestern corner we had a large amount of treated stock stored in that area, and that is the course of water that heads to our sampling point SW1, which was the one we were having the most problems with. We looked at building very large sediment ponds to handle the water. It was a mammoth job to construct and to maintain those holding areas, so it was decided that as we have a better storage area over on the northern end of the site, that we would relocate the stock to there. We could handle any water issues that came off that stock far better at that end of the site, and that would free this side of the site up the southwestern corner to have grass cover established on it, lock up the soil, stop erosion, and hopefully the water results would improve, which they have shown to. So,
Rick Tranter, Paul McEwen, and Shane Hastings proposed a reconfiguration of how wood was stored, moving it to a location where stormwater could be better managed using a series of dams. This redesigned the stormwater flow of the entire facility. Runoff was slowed down to reduce erosion. Potentially contaminated water is directed through a series of dams to drop sediment out. 4 retaining ponds and planting of natural reeds further assist in reducing suspended solids. A treatment plant removes any remaining metals and suspended solids out of the water.
Yeah, we actually excavated 2 existing dams out. It took about 2 years to bioremediate the soil. We used hay, manures and just natural products to get that to happen. We'd have to come in and turn over the soil, every 6 months. We'd bring an excavator in and they'd be there for a couple of days just turning it over. And we actually used that soil to put around the areas where we cleared off to promote grass growth.
Yeah, looking back on the project, when we initially set out, we were thinking it was quite daunting, but as we got going, it was relatively easy to get all of the things done. And what we noticed is as we went along, we started finding further improvements. So, it wasn't as difficult as we first thought it was going to be to get this project completed.
Fresh thinking at Grafton has produced an easy-to-maintain solution that improves environmental outcomes for a reasonable investment of capital that promises to provide positive returns for years to come. And the EPA in Australia says it's satisfied with Koppers completing the work needed to address the runoff issue. Environmental improvements at Grafton illustrate what can result when Koppers people apply innovative thinking to a challenging issue. At the Koppers facility in Nyborg, Denmark, a zero-harm culture concerning the plant and its neighbors led to an idea generated by plant employees so good it demanded action.
It's a natural effect of our processes. We've always generated waste heat for our cooling systems, and we thought it would be a good idea to utilize that heat instead of just blowing it out to the air. It was actually Koppers that approached the district heating company saying, we have an energy source that we could connect to your district heating grid. Please look into if this is possible. The system was mainly engineered by the district heating company because most of the installations were on their grid. But the part that integrated into our processes was done by ourselves. The investment was shared between the district heating company and Koppers, and our share was less than a year's payback time.
Koppers is situated in Nyborg, close to our district heating grid, and it has the potential of delivering about 10% of our heat demand. The cooperation with Koppers is very good for us because we have an ambition of having multiple sources of green energy. When having the energy from Koppers in our network, we eliminate to purchase energy from more expensive sources, and we also reduce the CO2 emissions.
The project took about a year from initial thought till we started supplying energy to the grid. So for the local community, when we started up, we were supplying energy that's equivalent to about 800 houses' consumptions in a year. Today, as our capacity has doubled, we also has almost doubled our waste heat to the district heating grid. So today we are supplying energy that equivalents to about 1,500 houses. In the same period, we also reduced our energy consumption on 1 ton throughput of tar. We've reduced that by 25%. So we are not increasing capacity and at the same time, in the same rate, increase waste energy. We utilize the energy better. And one of the conditions for achieving the permit of increasing our capacity was that our environmental footprint should remain as it was when we were running slow. So it's been a win-win for the local community, getting heat source at a very low price. We get an income which is stable, and at the same time we've reduced our environmental footprint.
The Nyborg story shows the power of a great idea generated by Koppers people to live out our zero-harm commitment to the community. Taking the zero-harm culture to heart, employees at Koppers Mayfield facility near the shore and regional wildlife in Australia knew they could do better, be better, and achieve more. But how to go about it became the question. An employee survey began to shed some light.
The results we got were actually quite negative, particularly about engagement and satisfaction with your job and things like that. So that sort of triggered management to organise this Blue Bus training. And Blue Bus training was all about improving morale, one team attitude. It showed the importance of the people in an organisation's success. So we came up with 6 main focus areas, and that's safety, environment, delivery, quality, people and cost. So these came about because we looked at the company goals, the visions, the values, with the zero waste, zero harm mission in mind, and we came up with these sort of 6 focus areas underneath that. And this is what we ran our brainstorming session off. So we had all of the guys at the workforce level coming up with ideas and goals under those 6 headings so that we're all heading in the same direction towards the company goals.
The Blue Bus idea is for everyone to have their say at every meeting, to bring up a safety topic, a safety concern, for us to relay as supervisors what's happening during the day, what's happening on the plant, pretty much so they know exactly what's happening. And it was good because we heard their frustrations, what they wanted in their eye centre was their eye centre. We didn't make them do anything differently, just they created it. It was their little babies.
So I believe that the Eye Centre has resulted in a culture shift. It's shown that things will change by a positive attitude. Everything that's changed as a result, I believe, has come from a positive spin on things. It hasn't been coming down hard on an employee or anything like that. For instance, the scepticism at the start with it. One thing that happened, we had one particular employee was very anti the Eye Centres and anti Blue Bus. So every single day for nearly 2 weeks, the guys themselves had a Blue Bus story about him. So every day he came up as a Blue Bus story, like he had a good attitude for this, he did this really well, he did that really well, he was very safe with this. And every day for 2 weeks, he had a story about him every single morning. And by the end of it, he was on board.
Well, so far we measure the success of the program with our boards that we use to map out what's happening throughout the day, catching any breakdowns, any safety issues, anything that's needed on site, and it's all marked and put into a computer so that we can pretty much graph what's going on.
So they've taken real ownership with it in all the areas on the plant who are running the Eye Centres, and yeah, it's been really successful so far.
Took some time, and it's a culture changing thing, but we've been successful in rolling it out throughout the whole site, and now it's just a part of life, and it's a good two-way communication tool, and we feel that morale has definitely improved because people are getting an opportunity to say their piece at the Eye Centres that are occurring every single day.
At Mayfield, fresh thinking about employee engagement has led to a heightened spirit of teamwork and positive results. We believe that if we put the health and well-being of our people, environment, and community first, success will follow. In this video, we've seen how Koppers people, individuals with the courage and energy to bring innovative ideas to life, have applied that zero-harm culture to improve their environment, care for their neighbors, and enhance their performance. Every one of us is capable and called upon to do the same.